And we're back with the Opie and Anthony program, broadcasting for the World Poker Tour at the Commerce Casino in Los Angeles, California. Yes. We'll get the energy back into the show now. I wanted to ask him one question. I didn't expect a 20-minute conversation. Jesus. All right, anyway. A lot of fun, though.
Where's Jimmy? We missed Jimmy today.
Well, Jimmy is on his way to Houston for, his gigs. He's
very busy with his gigs.
That he ended up promoting ad nauseum.
Oh, did he?
Dude, don't ever leave me again. Don't ever leave me again. I mean, it was fun.
I had to play some carts.
Jimmy, he's great at what he does. We all know that. But as far as trying to concentrate and helping me out, knowing that you weren't around, because there's a whole chemistry thing you and I do.
Sure.
There were so many times he would just leave the show to get a celebrity photo.
No, you're sitting there doing the show.
I'm doing the show.
You figure somebody to bounce off of would be Jimmy. You're talking, and he just takes his headset off and walks away.
As soon as there was a celebrity, there was one point where I'm doing the show by myself, and I'm asking Ben or Steve or somebody, "Where's Jimmy?" "Oh, he's over there," because he saw some actor.
Oh, my God.
And he thought that was a perfect opportunity for him to
run off and get a picture taken.
Yeah. And I'm like, shouldn't that be your third priority?
Show should be first.
Show should be your first priority, but it's not with him.
Mm-mm.
He's got three other priorities before the actual show. Number one is to get laid.
Right.
And if that means leaving the show, he will do that.
He'll do it.
If he gets a call on his cell phone while we're doing our show, even in New York, he will get up and leave. He won't even tell us where he's going. He'll just leave.
True.
We saw that happen in New Orleans. All of a sudden there was he was negotiating lap dances during the commercials and stuff, and next thing you know, we're on that balcony. I'm like, "Where's Jim?" "Oh, he's getting a lap dance." We're broadcasting. That was the whole reason we flew down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
But he's a sex addict.
So he had to get that out of the way.
Addictions usually get in the way of work and family and things like that.
So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two is celebrity photos, without a doubt, which yesterday was a complete nightmare because there were so many celebrities around. It was ridiculous.
He was foaming at the mouth,
also,
Jimmy.
I would turn, I'm talking to Joe Rogan, who did a great job on the show yesterday, and then I'm turning to get Jim's comment, and all I see is his headset sitting on the table, and he's off and running to get another photo.
Well, at least he had Rogan there, who I heard was just an animal.
Well, yeah, he
taking all advantage of satellite radio.
Say, he understands what satellite radio is all about, and he wanted to see how far he could go. And then the other thing with Norton is if he has to take a leak,
he just gets up and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Mid-conversation a couple times.
No waiting for breaks.
Yeah, mid-conversation.
I think he figured there were enough people there that maybe you wouldn't notice he was gone. There were enough people with the headsets on and microphones in front of them that he could leave, and maybe you wouldn't notice.
It was fun. It was definitely fun because it was a different type of show. But to do that day in and day out, forget it. And then you have Rich Voss, who doesn't have headphones on, and he's starting his own radio show during the show.
There were two shows at once going on.
And so at one point I just yelled, "Do you ever fucking listen?" I'm just like a babysitter here because we're getting into some kind of conversation. It was me, Rogan, and one of the celebrities or something. And I as a radio guy, I'm like, wow, this is good. This is going to be a good 10-15 minutes of radio. We're heading in a nice direction.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Voss is talking to Norton about some silly thing that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and they're not listening to what I'm. And I was like, are you kidding me? What, Ben?
They were talking about getting photos because then Voss
that's
got
what it was
excited.
about?
Right.
Yeah, Voss was getting photos.
Yeah, because Voss is the one that and then they're discussing how they're going to get the next photo. Okay, I'll go up to him. All right, is the camera set? Yeah, the camera set. Okay, make sure you don't cut my head off.
And meanwhile, you're having a whole different conversation.
Yeah, and then after the photo's taken, then they have to show each other. And I'm like, that's great, guys, but we're doing a freaking radio show, you idiots.
What jackasses.
So Norton's, in the air right now. He's going to be at the Houston Improv, so...
There you go. Go down there and see him if you're in Houston.
And with that said, he killed on the show yesterday. I know.
Yeah.
So I don't need the listeners going, whoa, blah, blah, blah. He did great. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan is just amazed that, Norton pulls off that celebrity interview thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
A better reaction than we've had in New York. He goes, why are they even going to answer him? He's just amazed by the whole bit, Just amazed.
Yeah.
And then you had Deacon Jones. You went back to the table. Deacon Jones comes back on the show, just completely hammered.
He got knocked out really early in the
You haven't heard the show yet, right?
No.
We almost had him whip out his dick.
Ooh,
why? Why not? He said he had a 15-incher.
Come on.
I swear to God. It's not a gay thing. That's like that's a freak show that anyone wants to check out. You got a 15, incher. So I go, yeah, let's see. He goes, you want me to whip it out? I'm like, you're teasing the wrong freaking radio show. Because you know how some guys will, I'll whip it out. I'm like, well, go ahead.
Pull out the old Deacon.
So then he backs off a little. Then Voss pulls out his Polaroid of his penis.
That he carries around.
And then Deacon's like, what? He was all just like, what? And then I go, well, Deacon, I got to be honest with you. I've seen his dick. I've seen his. And then all of a sudden, Deacon Jones, I don't even know if it, it was the last thing that was said on the show yesterday.
Right.
But all of a sudden, Deacon just looks around the table like, what? Is this a gay show? He just was out of his mind.
And that was the last thing that was heard on the show yesterday?
I think it got in.
Funny.
I think it got in. I think it was pretty much the last thing. And then he was frightened of Norton. He thought Norton was going to kill his whole family or something.
Opie?
Why?
What?
You weren't fortunate enough to see my penis yet.
No, the other way, Kenny.
Oh,
you are
sorry.
big and stupid.
My penis is tattooed.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
It says okay, but when it gets erect, it says Oklahoma.
Can someone take his headset off, please?
Wait, why would it say okay?
Because then it gets erect, and then there's a lot more room for.
You would think though it would be OA, and then when it got erect, you'd see Oklahoma, everything in the middle.
I went to a real good tattoo artist.
It's the dumbest joke.
I know. He was filled with dumb jokes last night after we got out of here. I decided, we're walking down Melrose, and Kenny decides that I'm in danger or something. So he's in this big, huge white van that's, 30 feet long. Yeah. And every time, I would look across the street, I'm walking Melrose. It's all the cool shops and stuff. And
he was tailing you in a van?
Yeah. And parking across the street, just giving this, creepy, stare.
Oh, God, what a freak.
He was cruising for, I don't know, middle-aged boys or something. It was creepy, right, Ben?
It was funny. He'd smile, he'd look over, and he'd smile and wave at you, and then you just always look behind you, and he'd be a half a block behind us.
Then we're jumping in stores and stuff. We get out of the stores thinking nothing of it, and then he's across the street at that location.
With binoculars?
Yeah.
Well, you had a long walk, so I didn't want, you had a ride on the way back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Very nice. Nice guy.
And then he probably got your friend Jay evicted from his building last night. Kenny proceeded to beep on the horn for about 5 minutes straight.
Yeah, we were all just getting very, very silly.
Yeah.
Very, very silly after the program yesterday, but
we got in the elevator and to go back upstairs, and Steve was pointing out how Ben had to just rush to get a drink somewhere after the show.
That wasn't true at all. I went shopping, Steve.
You did? Shopping for a drink?
Oh.
You did?
I thought he was doing the 100-meter dash to the nearest bar. So I was just like, I am so tired. I can't do that.
No, that whole gossip thing that Ben is known for is starting to rub off on Steve. Yeah, Steve gets all
the second we got in the elevator, that elevator door shut, and Steve's like, well, there goes Ben sprinting off to a
We all jumped into the van and went up to Melrose.
Okay.
First of all, Steve,
I almost bought a $172 shirt. I was out of my mind.
Stop it.
I swear to God.
There is no way you
We were at Fred Siegel?
Yeah, this is L.A. There's plenty to do. I have plenty of friends here. I didn't want to go back and sit in the hotel like you and Jim sit down waiting for your porn shoot.
Yeah, no.
Hey, I'd check out a porn any day. I'd give up a drink to go watch a porn shoot.
Yeah, I don't know.
That porn thing didn't work out.
We're all a bunch of weirdos. But let's go back a little bit. Then we had the whole Ed Asner thing. If you're just tuning into the show today, you missed yesterday's show, or you're just getting XM satellite radio, I guess we'll replay yesterday's show over the weekend. You got to hear the Ed Asner thing. That he hated me. He told Ben and Norton to get rid of that fucking wasp, meaning me.
You blew any chance in the future of ever having Ed Asner on the show.
I don't know. We hugged at the end, though. He gave he gave me a big bear hug, but
it was
then he told Jim.
Though.
Jim got several photos with him for some reason. He had to get different angles with Ed Asner, but then after he hugged you, he told Jim to get rid of the fucking wasp.
Yeah. And then
was he being all political and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Then Jim, Jim decides that he's a liberal. I'm like, Jesus. Because I'm thinking another perfect opportunity to have a nice exchange here. Because everyone knows Ed Asner, Hollywood type. He's
a bedwetting liberal.
He's as left as you get.
Yep.
And Norton, he leans pretty conservative, more conservative than he wants to admit. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, here's a great 10, 15 minutes of radio, and Norton's like, yeah, I agree with everything you say, Ed. I'm like, oh. These guys were killing. They were killing me yesterday, Anthony. I'm like, what is killing me?
So everything with Ed Asner left off nice though.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed you weren't there for that because the whole Lou.
Oh, I would have just been
And I was about to attempt
Lou.
I was going to attempt an impression. I'm like, what am I
Do
doing?
the whole interview in this voice. Okay, Lou.
Yeah. And then the biggest surprise from yesterday's program was that professional poker player Daniel
Negreanu, yeah.
Yeah, he stopped by to say hi to us. He got kicked out early. You beat him.
Uh-huh.
You beat him in the tournament. You lasted longer.
Well, I lasted a little longer than he did.
Yeah, whatever. And we've learned that he made $4.5 million playing poker last year.
One of the most successful poker players playing.
Well, he was bragging and telling us all about that.
Yeah.
And then it came up that he was distracted or something, and he broke up with his fiancée or something like 3 days prior to the tournament.
Uh-huh.
And he said something like, I just wasn't feeling it today, or I was just here for fun or whatever. He wasn't
right.
He wasn't expecting to go so
he's a little bummed about his chick,
But he broke up with her, so then Joe Rogan brings up a really good point that
Rogan just like, this is the wrong thing to say.
But most people, as humans, even though you're done with an ex or whatever, you don't really want to be visualizing them banging somebody else,
Right.
And that would have been good enough, but Rogan's like just getting over the top.
Details.
The script. Yeah.
Details.
There's some guy, bending her over a chair, and she used to be
I heard about
chick.
Gorilla sex.
Gorilla sex. Just more and more descriptive. Yeah. And then I have to add the final point, and I go, and Daniel, he's black.
Yeah.
And he was smiling and like kind of going with it and stuff, and we thought we had a pretty good interview with him. We were just having fun. And then I guess on his blog, he just
ripped us apart.
He destroyed us. Destroyed us on his blog. I guess he didn't have the balls to confront us live on the program yesterday. Yeah. So
Kenny might have to deal with the problem back there.
Why? What's the problem?
I don't know. That guy's pointing over here. And
he looks like a maintenance guy.
Oh, really?
Are we being loud?
What? Huh?
No. Leroy, see you later.
Jesus, Kenny.
What? I know the guy.
Oh, my God. No, you don't.
You shouldn't be calling an Asian fella by that name.
Asian.
But I'm sure the O&A Army will go on this guy's blog and make a few comments themselves.
Well, I just wish he had the balls to, kind of confront us. I mean, Ed Asner had no problem. Ed Asner looked me right in the eye and and says, I will never fucking do your radio program again.
Yeah. Well, Ed Asner's known as a gruff guy and stuff like that. Daniel Negreanu is a poker player. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He's like one of those very personable, he's got a good personality, nice guy. He probably figured he would laugh and smile his way through to the end of it, get off, and then like, oh my God, I will never, do that again. And he was probably taken aback a bit by some of Joe Rogan's and your comments,
right.
So Opie, to tell you the truth.
Well, your girlfriend was saying that he was shaking after the interview.
Yeah, after the interview,
because I'm looking at him
a little bit.
I shook his hand. We went to break. I'm like, hey man, that was cool. Thanks. A little different, I know, but thanks for being a good sport or whatever. Because I wasn't trying to kill him like I was trying to kill Ed Asner. I thought we were all just on the same page, having a little fun with it.
He was. Yeah, shaking after the interview. And
speaking of which, going back a little bit, the Ed Asner thing. You know how I like to try to get people uncomfortable in the studio. That's one of my things. But with Ed Asner, he was getting the best of me. I had my poker face. I do have a really good poker face, but not when I'm playing cards.
Not for poker,
right? I can't play the poker. I'm looking at him and we're going at it. Sort of. It's good. You're feeling the tension. My forehead started just dripping sweat. I have never had that happen on the radio show before.
Really?
I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna get the best of me. He sees in my eyes that I'm crumbling here.
You know something? I just saw the phone screen up there. Somebody is saying that you were calling yourself Anthony.
Oh, yeah, during that? Oh, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I forgot to tell you that, yeah.
You son of a bitch.
I forgot, yeah, he hates you. That's right.
Great. So Anthony from the Opie and Anthony show is the idiot that was...
I forgot to mention that part.
And what were you pointing at me, saying Opie's playing cards?
Yeah, of course.
You son of a bitch.
You said it 10 minutes ago. Yesterday's show was all about just throwing people under the bus. And it didn't matter if the person wasn't even here to defend himself.
I wasn't even there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you that. I forgot,
Oh, thanks. Great. Nice that I know this now, just in case I ever bump into Ed Asner.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm Opie.
I forgot to tell you that. Hey, can we say hi to Joe Rogan? How do we do this?
Eric will do it.
Oh, Eric could do it back in New York? Hey, Joe.
Yo.
Hey, what's up,
There
Joe?
he is.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Are you coming by today or what?
Yeah, I got a flood in my basement. If I can make it out of here within an hour, definitely.
Yeah, you got to do a little more radio with us because I mean we got to take advantage of the fact that we're in L.A., man. Because you were a lot of fun yesterday. Did you hear what happened with Daniel after that interview?
Yeah, I read it online. What a cunt! What a little cunt that guy is. He was laughing with us and joking around, and then he gets off and they were rude and vulgar. What a little fucking bitch! I cracked a little joke. A
little joke, dude. You were so graphic, and honestly, I don't care. Everyone knows that, but I'm reading him a little bit. I'm like, all right, he's going with this. This is fun, whatever. And I just told Anthony, I don't know if you were listening, I hate people that don't confront us back. You know, he was going with it like it was all cool.
Well, that's not his style. That's not his style. He's, more of the, no conflicts with him. He's a nice guy. He's known as like a mama's boy kind of guy. And I think he was put in a position that he didn't know how to deal with it, so he figured he'd just laugh his way through it and then post on his blog how he was ripped apart as he sat down.
It was no big deal. I actually told him what I honestly feel. Like, when I break up with a girl, the first thing I worry about is her getting just fucking plowed by some other guy. That's like my biggest fear.
Who doesn't think of that?
What makes me think of that?
No, who doesn't think of that?
That's what I said. Even though you're done with that person, you really just don't want to be visualizing that.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons why I don't break up with chicks.
But Joe, you were like, she's having gorilla sex, and
Listen,
it was amazing. You were basically like,
did you bring up the fact that she might have taken it in the ass?
Oh yeah, it was like some other guy who has probably a bigger dick than you stretching around. I'm like, Jesus, Joe, what's up?
Well, you know what? That's what I think of. I mean, that's what every guy thinks of. Your worst nightmare is, you go, you're never going to get better than me, baby. And then 2 nights later, she's getting stuffed into a corner of the couch.
Yeah.
She's getting plowed.
And then I mentioned to the guy and picture that this guy's black, and he just wasn't into it anymore.
Oh.
I'm trying to find
what. Go with the black angle. That's probably what tweaked him.
Yeah. I'm trying to find what he wrote about us on his blog, but
Opie
Steve
playing
can't
the
find
race
it.
card.
You go to Whackbag, man. They had a whole discussion about it, so it's on there. But anyway, Joe, it was so much fun having you yesterday.
It was so much fun being there, man. I definitely would like to come again. And if I get out of here within the next, I have a flood in my basement. If I can get out of here within the next half hour, I'm coming down.
All right. Well, it's not raining anymore. It's not going to rain anymore out here.
No, the problem is my basement is it's like at the bottom of a hill, and all the water from the ground has like seeped in from the months and months of rain. It's really bad. It's a mess down there.
You guys are insane for living out here, man.
Oh, it's great. Besides that, I mean, this is a bad year, but other than that, it never rains, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hot chicks.
Yeah, hold on, Joe, because we're trying to find the blog, but you got it? Oh, okay, here we go. So, he's talking about the tournament yesterday. I'll read this word for word for everybody.
Okay.
So Daniel writes on his blog, on the way out, I did the most disturbing interview I've ever done.
Disturbing interview. The most disturbing.
Ever. Some satellite radio station asked me to do the show, so I obliged. I sat in the chair, and the radio host had no clue who I was and knew nothing about poker. But we openly admitted that. Remember, Joe? We're like,
yeah, what's the big deal?
We're like, you're some famous. All right, whatever, man. But then we were impressed when he told us how much he won last year.
The only guy who knew who he was sitting playing poker. Yeah. That was me.
We're not going to fake it.
Of course.
I could care less,
I understand.
About the guy. They asked me a few questions and then went off on a vulgar exchange that was absolutely appalling. I'm a poker player, and they wanted to do was curse about nasty sex and random garbage. I found the host to be extremely rude and vulgar, a welfare version of Howard Stern.
Welfare version. I'm on welfare, Robin.
Meanwhile, we were talking to the guy. We were very complimentary of him, and I said, look, congrats for having the balls to seek that out as a career. That's awesome. We were saying a lot of good things to him. Just one thing. He was talking about he broke up with his fiancée.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Ed Asner thing will go down in history as one of the classic O&A moments.
He called you a destroyer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Why a destroyer?
It was weird. He was goofing around, sort of, but not really. It was like a weird thing.
He was basically saying that I don't like people being happy, and I have to just make everyone uncomfortable.
Ed Asner's very perceptive. Ed Asner's a very perceptive man at his age to be able to pick that up in no time. Wow.
Hey, Joe, did you stop by the Comedy Store last night?
No, I didn't. I had some shit I had to do.
They were teasing that you might be there last night. We went there for a little while. We saw, what's his name, the guy that's been on Johnny Carson the most, that's there every freaking night.
Every night for 40 years.
Argus?
Yeah, Argus was there, Anthony.
Yeah.
Argus was one of these old timers that used to do Carson all the time, and I think he's still thinking that he's going to be on Leno. He dresses up in his suit every night and does his hacky jokes. It was just awful.
Well, he's there for the farmers. The
Farmer.
Yeah. The vacation, the tourists.
Yeah, there were a group of people from like Kansas enjoying what he had to say. So.
Yeah.
There always is.
But
so, if I can get out of here within the next half hour, I'm definitely coming down.
All right, Joe. Yeah, we'd love to see you again.
I had
pump
so
out
much
your
fun.
basement.
It was awesome. It was a blast.
Joe, I think I think we got to talk. I think things are going to be happening with our little channel here, and I think you need to do a little more radio.
I would love to do it. It sounds awesome. Let's do it.
All right, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Later, man.
Joe Rogan, everyone.
Heading to pump out his basement.
Yeah, so that was Daniel. He just did not like us. And
yeah, wow.
And
I like that as the most disturbing interview ever that he's ever done. And and
he was so pissed that we didn't know who he was. Whatever.
You know why? It's at a poker thing. You're funny. He's so pissed that no one knew who he was, but whatever. If we went to a radio event and no one knew who we were,
right,
we'd be a little miffed. Just a little miffed.
But that ain't happening anymore.
But I'm saying if it did. You're at a poker event.
Thanks to a fine couple that had sex at St. Pat's Cathedral, everyone knows who your pals Opie and Anthony are.
You would probably be the first one if we sat down to do an interview.
Right.
And the guy said, look, I have no idea who you guys were. You'd be the first one to go, whatever, dude. You would be so fucking pissed off. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I have no clue who you... It would be instant attitude.
I don't know.
Yes, it would.
I don't know, man.
And then the guys, we're at a poker event, and he sits down to do an interview, and you guys have no clue who he is.
No clue. And he's like the top guy. He's like the Michael Jordan of the sport. I don't know. I thought he was some scrub. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I understand what he walked into, but, I'm not sitting here as his defender, but Jesus, you got to understand.
It's kind of like, we're at the NBA All-Star game, broadcasting live, and LeBron James sits down. Who are you?
Yeah,
what?
Who? What?
Oh, all right.
Who are you?
I guess you're making a good point.
He's not going to go, screw you, man.
Yeah. I'm disappointed in myself, though, because Jennifer Tilly sat down.
Yeah.
Still very hot in the face, but her body just had all sorts of things happening. And
really?
And Rogan's just a pig.
Rogan,
he's just a pig when it comes to women. And we're both looking and we're kind of critiquing her in front of her, but because it's so loud, and if you don't have the headset on.
Yeah.
So we're saying stuff to each other. I don't even know if it made the air really. And then she's posing with Jim for photos, and another time where Jim just decided he needed to leave the radio program.
Leave, of course.
And I just wish I could have commented on it.
She told me she's an XM listener. She's got it in her car.
Yeah, but she doesn't have it hooked up yet. She just got it.
Oh, so you can say.
I'm kind of disappointed I didn't kind of go at her a little bit.
The gunt that Rogan.
Yeah, did that make the air? I don't know.
I don't know. I heard earlier today.
She's taking pictures, and I go, check that out. He goes, yeah. He goes, that's what we call a gunt. I'm like, is that the West Coast term? Because back
East Coast we call it bunt.
Yeah, we call it bunt.
It's the belly area. But he says gut.
Gut. Yeah. So, all right. Well, why don't we take a break, Anthony?
All righty.
Maybe do some real radio. A lot of interesting things happening in the papers and stuff, and there's nothing happening in this empty room.
The phones have come alive.
Oh, you know what? We haven't talked to our listeners in a couple days. Maybe we'll do a few phone calls next.
And for some reason, the phones, at least with that last phone call, seemed... No.